Oh man, that blows. That really blows. Um, I had a feeling that I should have just kept playing. Yeah, that blows. Okay, so basically the servers have taken so much of a fall and so much overloading at the moment that DE has come out and given the explanation to what they feel the solution will be. I'll read that off here in a little bit, but for the people who were just wondering how I got in the game, DE has announced that you need to go through this queue, which in turn will bring you to a final queue screen, which will tell you that you're getting ready to be logged into the game. Now, if that you get to that screen and it doesn't allow you to log in after 5 to 10 minutes, then you need to reset your game and jump right back in this queue again. Now, I don't know if it was just earlier, maybe people were getting tired. I don't know what it may have been, but the first, I would say I turned on to actually try to access the servers about 8 o'clock this morning, California time. It's now 6:25. 6:20 was the first time that I actually got on the servers. I had noticed up until that time that there was anywhere from 18,000 people in the queue to roughly about 15,000. Right as I got in on this last, I don't know, 10 minutes ago. Yeah, roughly about 10 minutes ago. Um, I was actually in a queue that only had about 10,000 people. Well, I should say it had 12,000 people the first time. And then I went to the queue, got to the final, left it there for 10 minutes, didn't happen, reset. When I came back, it was roughly about 9,000 in that queue. And went through it again, nothing happened. As soon as I got to the third time, which was about, a little bit under an hour ago, I don't know if they are actually doing what they're saying because the queue does seem to be moving a bit faster. Earlier, it took me almost 6 hours to get into the first message screen. The second time, it took me roughly about an hour and a half. The third time only roughly took me about 30 minutes to get back into the queue, and boom, it was fast. So I don't know if that is the process, but I know that's what they actually stated in this message. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it back up because it's moving slow anyway. I don't really, it doesn't matter. Here, if you have re-enabled our queue and are slowly increasing capacity, if you reach to the front of the queue and wait longer than 5 to 10 minutes, please restart and continue to monitor all over again. So that's pretty much what it is, guys. If you are, see, it went right back up. If you're looking to get into the queue, I was just hoping that the 5 to 10 minutes that I was in there, it wouldn't have timed me out, but it's clear that they must have incorporated some type of security for people who are just leaving their characters, trying to just hog up space on the servers. It's clear that they are actually taking some precautions because it timed me out indefinitely. So that's a good thing. We do know that they are making room for spaces. The only problem is how much space is actually on the server. Let's see. Excuse me. If you guys want to, here I'll go ahead and pull up what DE said. In a second. I'll put on display. And I'll bring up what they said on Twitter. Um, that definitely sucked. That sucked. I knew I should have just blown my first mind and just started playing, dude. But when you're trying to get content out, this is what you deal with. Okay, so here's the graph that they're actually showing, in which they're saying that they're testing the servers. This is a couple hours ago. Here we have a server update. Pretty much this graph. Our tests this morning have provided successful, and we are slowly ramping up the amount of players we're letting into the game. As you log into the game, you may be placed in the queue. Please note, while you wait, time displayed is accurate once updated. The countdown function is not. The function of the timer is not accurate. Oh man, what was I reading for a second? Thank you for being patient as we have worked through the issues and will continue opening Wayfinder to more players and stability holds. As stability holds. So, here you go. Here's the graph. So you can see what they're saying, I guess. As far as how many players they're letting in, I'll show you what their explanation was. So what they say will be from Syndicate. The update from Syndicate and Digital Extremes. Yesterday sucked. There's no other way to say it. It sucked for people who purchased the Founders Pack and couldn't play. It sucked for us to see players unable to get into the game after believing in us and our vision. Early access isn't a crutch. It's a conversation between a studio and the community that helps building the game alongside the studio. We said from the start that we'd be transparent, which they have been. They waited a bit late to be transparent. I mean, they got their hands caught in the cookie jars before they wanted to be transparent, but they did own up to that and be transparent. We can't give them credit for that. And open with the community, and that continues now to have players entrusting us with their money and us failing to deliver. Servers and login. Although we ran into technical tests and betas across multiple regions, we were seeing more players every minute than played in our beta each day, which is very true because of the simple fact that I do have to take in consideration. Not everyone was given a beta code. So because not everyone was given a beta code, you wouldn't have had this amount of fan base come forth. It took the players like myself and other players who spreaded the word about the beta before they were looking forward to this. Although we had a queue system ready, the system failed immediately. We quickly implemented numerous fixes to try and stable the login experience, and those failed as well. We ended up having to put a cap on players that were on the server, which was less than ideal and resulted in a maximum player limit reach error, which is what you were seeing on my screen, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other streamers last night. We just couldn't get into it. It was horrible. Update from Digital Extremes. At an earlier access launch, severe server login issues led to too many players not being able to connect or play. We know that the value you trust and apologize for the shaky beginning. As players ourselves, we know that the disappointment many are feeling. We apologize, and we know players have high expectations of DE's infrastructure to deliver in moments like this. And in this instance, we have publisher. And since we as the publishers fell short. We're committed to ensuring long-term stability, although early access period. We are thankful for the enthusiasm and interest in our community and for your continued patience as we continue in on a permanent solution. We realize that buying something and not being able to actually log in and play, frankly, is a bad look. I was going to say, I know they didn't say bad luck. One solution we heard often was that you should have offered pre-sales to gauge interest. Which I understand why they didn't do the pre-sale because I seen it up there as a player. I was waiting. I seen those boxes that said you can get a Founders Pack, PlayStation or Steam. I went to click that joint. Nothing happened. So I was disappointed, but I understood that there had to be something behind it of why they didn't allow the pre-sales. And it could be due to the fact that I don't see any franchise company standing behind pre-sales when a game is intended to be free next year. So I'm pretty sure that could have been one of the problems. Unfortunately, some first-party stores do not allow pre-sales, of early access, and we were unable to meet demand. Currently, the game's login queue is functioning. No, it is not. I'm finna check mine right now, because it is not. Hold on, y'all. Look at that, 11,000. So that's falsified. It's not working. It's kind of working, but it took me 3 times in almost 6 hours just to get in for 10 minutes, which at the end of the day I felt was going to happen anyway. I just wanted to see if it was actually going to kick me off, because I'm like, man, I don't want to have to wait damn near 6 hours, 7 hours, just to be able to get on for 15 minutes and then I'm kicked off again, because there hasn't been any talk of people getting on and staying on. So that is one thing I was taking into consideration. Where did we leave off? Sitting in queue isn't actually being in game and playing, but it's allowing a trickle of players in as we continue to up capacity across all regions, and that has been successful. That's the problem. It wasn't that the system that they had, they should have created the same system. DC Universe. DC Universe had it very, very clear. You feel me with DC Universe? If you were a premium player, you had a whole different tier. So that's one thing that they should have focused on, because you had players who, yes, did invest in the game by buying the $20 pack, but you had players like myself who bought the $150 pack, and we didn't even receive all the items. There should have definitely been a prime example right there of these people are priority. We should have had that in order. Anybody who brought the 89 pack, $150 pack, we need to make sure you guys are on the servers immediately, especially before we decide to turn over the next day and give it to other regions. Because yesterday it was just for us. Now it's for other regions, Japan, all over the place. So there's I shouldn't say millions, but there's thousands of other players now who have now been included to the bucket of people trying to get into the game. So that didn't help at all. You know, like that was just clear. You could have been doing this trickling game in with the people who paid $20. No disrespect to any of my players who I told to go out there and buy the $20 pack, nothing included. But I'm just saying, if you were truly wanting to be a founder, you believed in the title, it just wasn't something that was sprung onto you that you figured you'd take a look at. You were people like myself who were invested. There should have been some priority for us. There should have been priority for us. There's no ifs, buts about it. We shouldn't even be making videos like this. We should have been priority. We continue to make optimizations to the queue and servers in the coming days and weeks until all players are in and playing. So you see that this will take a couple of days, this will take a couple of weeks. And in general, it's going to take a couple of days because they took all our money pretty much on a Wednesday. Didn't get everything out on the Thursday. Started putting everything together on a Friday. Now they're going to go break on a weekend because their heads have been blown off their shoulders from the offices being on fire. So we probably won't see any good server changes or stability that's going to allow everybody to stay locked in unless you're a streamer, you feel me, who has like 200K, which they're already sponsoring them to be on, so it doesn't matter. They're going to make sure their accounts are fine anyway. So you haven't noticed those guys get kicked off. There's really just going to be no way for you to get in the game unless you just keep going through this. It's just what it is. They're not planning to make any stability changes. They got to wait till Monday opens up before they can start cashing our checks. That's just as real as it's going to get. It's an investment. People don't just pull money out their butts for investments. Money's put before investments. So we do have to take that in consideration as well. This right here was one of the biggest things that I was talking about on my stream as well. The Founders Pack issues. They were acting like they were oblivious to it, but myself, I was one that was crying about it. I'm glad that other players actually experienced what I did with buying that $150 pack, wanting to be a founder, looking for those exclusive items that no one's supposed to have, and yet I couldn't even get them. They're not even given to me. Like, they're telling me in my Steam library that I have all of them there, but I ended up in game, and as you've seen, I don't know if you checked the stream prior to this where I was on and made it in. As soon as I went to shop, it still showed the same thing, that I just had the first two packs. It didn't give me the third or the fourth pack, which is the premium, the premium rewards. So we're also aware of the small portion of players that did not get their Founders Pack items. We are aware of this issue, and although it affects a small portion of players, it's our priority. No, it's not, or else you would have made sure we were the first people on the servers. It's just that simple. To make sure that our founders get their items. I would hope so, because that would result in a lot of money that people will come back asking for. A lot of the missing items are related to the back-end server issues, and unfortunately we can't provide a better update right now until we have more stability. Again, Founders Packs are you entrusting us, and we did not deliver. Please contact customer service. You can reach them here at this link, and they'll tell you pretty much what you have to do to be able to get all your stuff. You know, which at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, because we won't be able to see our stuff until they actually fix the servers. So, but there was some things that I was going to say that they had already beat us to with the whole player compensation thing. This has to be a thing. I don't know what you're going to do and how you're going to do it, but you have to compensate players, especially ones who spent that amount of money into a game that is supposed to be free next year. There has to be some type of compensation there. There has to be something you give those guys, myself included. Like, there has to be something that just tells us, it just separates us from the rest of the community when this game actually starts to take off. That there's no way you can get this. There's no way you can find this. There's no way you can acquire this. You weren't there for the suffering that we did. Unless you're going to give players something like that, this will not make it any better that you wrote it on paper. We have to see something behind it. It can't be some ruined silver. Like, it has to be something that players can grasp the concept of, damn, I missed out on that. Like, that has to be something for us. If not, this game is going to die faster than Outriders. And I was a fan of Outriders. But if you don't take examples from the games before you, you will clearly fall straight to the same fate that they did. So, do you keep that in mind? We also saw conversations around some of our bundle prices being just shy of an item in our store. We agree that that's not player friendly. We're revisiting this price, so they are 1,000 ruined silver, and will be retroactively grant the difference for anyone who has paid for these weapons. So they're talking about weapons there. Player compensation. Players lost valuable time waiting to get into the game and taking days off to play. That sucks. We're currently working on plans on compensating those purchased into early access, whether they got into the game or not. That should not be a thing. You should clearly want to reward the players who did not get in. The players who did get in, that's all fine and dandy, but you know, there just needs to be an extra reward for the players who did not, especially the ones who paid in high. I'm sorry. There has to be something for those players, whether it was whatever it is, but you need to base it off of the amount of player hours that people were already putting in. If you have a certain amount of player items, you shouldn't qualify for it, even if it's just a little bit of ruined silver. You need to compensate the people who did not be able to get on, because like myself, I had 2 days off. Those days were going wasted on this game trying to get on. So I'm highly upset about that, but I have no choice because I stand by the video game. See, it's taking a bit of time still. It's taking its sweet time, dude. Yeah, that sucked. I was finally on, man, and it just, oh man, that sucked. Okay, so yesterday proved that Wayfinder has an audience. Well, duh. I'm sorry, you can't put. That's what a lot of these companies fail to realize when they try to play the sell and catch gimmick. You cannot put MMO on a title and expect the nerds not to come out. We live for an MMO. Do you know how hard it is to find a decently MMO without it dying or without it being, you know, shifted at some point or another to a point where it's not what we used to know? Like MMOs are something that the nerd will die on. So when you have a gamer that comes out and wants to play and you say something like MMO, we're going to do everything we can to make sure that we're a part of that process. This is, I don't understand where companies are not understanding that portion when they try to sell a gimmick. But here we go. First and foremost, wait a minute. But we must take action to meet the demands that the audience deserves. First and foremost, that involves us fortifying an underlying platform and technology that delivers our vision for an online world for friends. It's about winning back the players' trust through actions, not words. And it's about getting the game into a playable state for all. You're right about that, but we're gonna have to hold you to that. We're gonna have to see something. I understand what y'all put, what y'all doing. You know, we get that, but there has to be some type of movement behind it. It can't just be words. Y'all can't give us this long ass story I just had to read to people just to be able to get into this game. You know that's something that's gonna have to change. So, yeah, that's pretty much what they're saying, guys. So go ahead and close that out. Give me a second. Since we're in the queue, man, we're gonna be waiting some time. So fuck it. This is horrible, man. Horrible. Very, very bad. it's looking like right now.
That's crazy.
Let me check it. Let me see what we got going. That's like 68. Now the only problem with this is I can mess around and get down from this 68 and get to the very last end, which will probably take about another 30 minutes, dude. And then
It's like 68.
it's gonna mess around and I just gotta pray it puts me in. It may do the whole little glitch thing and not put me in. Like I said, it took me all day just to be able to get in for that 10 minutes that I kind of blew. So that fucking sucks. But yeah, I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to check what they saying on Twitter. See if there's any like updates, like what are they saying as far as like everything is, if everybody's staying, are they kicking motherfuckers off? What's going on? Mm. So let's find out what they're saying on Twitter, because a lot of them are saying they're still not getting in. I'm just hoping that I'm blessed enough to be one of the fortunate to make it back after this 6,000. I'm gonna stay positive because I do want to make it back after this 6,000. Like, just no ifs and buts about it. Like, I'd really like to make it back because I really want to get on and make some content. That'd be nice to get on and be able to do some content indefinitely. Put my lights on. Sweet. Where's my remote control? What did I do with it? Not really too sure. But I will. See, I'm like 6,500 in. That was a disappointment. I was on. I could taste it. Oh man, I could taste it. That was horrible. That was so bad. I should have just took advantage of that. I'm sorry. I love it, but I should have just recorded it. I should have just recorded that job, boy, and kept playing. I should not have stopped to try to get it broadcast. Like, I honestly feel like it's funny. Like, I'll be so honest. When I was trying to broadcast, it seemed like I wasn't getting nowhere with getting in that game. As soon as I turned my stream off, boy, I got in that game so fast. I was like, man, this is some bull, So I don't know if they've been sensitive right now on the topic or whatever it is. They don't want people to report their mistakes. I'm not trying to report their mistakes. I love them. You feel me? I love D. I understand. Y'all made some mistakes. Y'all not the only ones. Bungie made some mistakes like that too. They did the same dumb shit with Destiny 1. I was a beta head there. I was all the way in the vanilla days. I'm talking back when Zer only sold the rocket launcher twice. I'm talking about the Galahorn. If you wasn't there, you just didn't have no friends. Those days. So I was a beta player there. I was a beta player for Warframe. I was there when the original Founders Pack came out, PC, and some people got a hold of them glitches, and you was able to get that Excalibur Prime, but you couldn't build them. You could have the pieces. I was aware for that too. So a lot of the Founder stuff I've been around for, especially with Skyforge, a lot of other places like that. So I've made a lot of Founders in these games. So I entrusted that they wouldn't have it all together because I was like, sooner or later, something's gonna go wrong. It was something was gonna go wrong. Like, They did have some slight server problems in beta, but I thought they would have had it fixed by then because I was like, these companies, I understand they got a set budget. That's what a lot of people don't get. They only have a set budget of how much money they can spend on these damn games. And if they don't put in the right amount of money in the right places, when situations like this come up and servers go down, they don't have extra servers or backups. They're trying to implement ways to squeeze people into little crevices because they didn't put the money into that portion of the game. So they weren't expecting a big enough audience, and they got one, so they just made a bad investment on that portion of the move for the game. So yes, the server is horrible. There's only one of them, which is clear. There's not more than one server. For me, it's just one server, and they're trying to squeeze everyone in, which is the same thing that Destiny did. Warframe did it for a slight minute, so we will get in. It's just how dedicated are they to getting people in? Because if they came up with a safe method right now where they're just squeezing people in until people quit and people get tired and want to get off, and maybe you get in the queue and you get a chance and boom, you're in. If it's like that at the moment, then they don't really care. But if they're legitly trying to find a way, I'm thinking that I'm really thinking they getting ready to just call it quits. Like, it's 7 o'clock in Cali. I'm pretty sure I already felt like they called it quits. So unless players start getting in, I get down from the 6,000 and I get back in. If players can get back in, then that means that they're continuously working on a wormhole. They're trying to find something with the extra servers. They're trying to get people in. But if you can't get in, it's the same shit over and over again. They went home to try to rethink a strategy for the weekend, which means in turn, the only way for us to really get into the game is if you got the time to just sit on like this, which sucks. I'm hoping I'll be able to get on by at least 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, but if not, I'm going to jump on some VR, so it really don't matter. But if people can get in at that time, that just means that other cats had to go to sleep. Some fools is not playing the game. Some people just don't care that much. So, and the time frames have to shift. You feel me? So, the other regions that they released it for, those regions should be roughly about getting up about the time we go to sleep. So, if those regions start getting on and the floodgates start cracking again, it lets you know they're just implementing the sub-out system. They're just waiting for players to get off so the players can get in. But as far as them trying to squeeze everybody, I don't think that's going to happen. Because that graph they showed this graph where it was peaking and it was showing how many people are getting in the game compared to how many people are stuck in queue. And I understand where they was going with that, but that don't solve the problem of the fact that y'all have a server that can't support that many people. If it can't support that many people, y'all got to be doing some type of patchwork with it where y'all just, every time something going on, y'all throwing up a firewall trying to save it from dying. I don't know what's going on in that office, but it's clear that office is on fire. But that, it has to come into consideration that they have to just buckle down. I don't know how they're going to get it from, but they going to have to call somebody on emergency. Hey, y'all going to have to give us a server. We don't know who we going to buy it from, but they going to have to get a server. That's just honest to God. They're going to have to get a server. Because if they do not get a server, the only people that are actually going to be able to get on are the people who just do this. You know what this feels like? If you were a PlayStation owner, an original PlayStation owner, when the PS5 first dropped, this feels like that queue over again. This feels like that PlayStation queue on Sony's website, dude. I swear to God, I swear to God. There's no lie about that. That's everything this shit feels like. So, beware. I'm not telling people, don't go buy the game. Just know you ain't gonna be able to play. But know there is a light at the end of the tunnel. If you just go ahead and buy the $20 pack, you'll be a part of the war that's gonna get ready to take place in about 3 to 4 weeks. You know, when everything's starting to settle, the dust starting to get a little quiet, people gonna start playing the game. You know, maybe a month may go by, and then somebody on the forums is gonna start up the argument with one of these devs that the rewards that we didn't get, when are we gonna get our payment for? And then other people are gonna join in like, yeah, we were founders. When are we gonna get this? When are we gonna get this? Because mind you, the end of the year is coming quick. It's only gonna be about 5 more months left of the year, and then boom, we out of here with that one. So they said it's supposed to be dropping in 2024. I know they're not gonna wait all the way up until the time of the drop for the free people and try to reveal some item they're gonna give us, because they know that ain't gonna fly. They know that idea that's gonna crash and burn right off the back. They know they can't do that. So it's clear they're trying to think of something, because they said they're putting in consideration something special. So they are saying they're gonna think about us. So I'm assuming that within the next 2 to 3 months, we should start hearing about what item we're gonna receive for the pain and suffering we had to go through. So if you got the $20, go ahead and buy the game. Jump on, try to attempt to get in there, just so your name is on that little cue board, whatever they swear up and down they got our data on. So that way, when it comes down to them doing the rewards, at least you'll have something special prior to coming out when the free game comes. You feel me? Because they know at the end of the day, I don't know where they got it from, but it don't make no sense to me, because it's clear. Alexa, turn my light on. Where's oh, it's not even plugged up. The joint's not plugged up.
Sorry, my room light isn't responding.
I know it's not plugged up, Alexa. Hold on. 'Cause I know it's getting dark in here, dude. There you go. Turn her on. Alright. So, at the end of the day, I don't know how they expect to convince people that they're going to give us something special on a game that we paid for that's supposed to be free in a couple of months. Mind you, we did pay for it. Like I said, you paid $20, you're going to be paying for the game, but it's like, it's going to be free anyway. So, technically, you're just playing for the exclusive item, I guess, at the moment. Don't get me wrong, the game is going to take off. It's a nice game, but they did some clown shit at the beginning of it to get it off the ground. You feel me? They did do some clown shit. So, because they doing some clowny stuff, it's not gonna work out good. You know, they trying, but they know that free entitles one word: microtransaction, or that's 2 words, I guess. Microtransaction. That's the only way that game is going to survive, just like any other game that was free to play. Like, it's all about what you buy in them stores that keep that game alive. That's how they keep putting content out. So they knew when they took everybody's money off these packs, the people who bought these packs were telling the company, hey, we're willing to back you. You know, we'll give you some money up front. We'll give y'all what y'all need. Just make sure our content is what we want when we get on the game. And that's pretty much what it is. They had ideas. Yeah, we're going to get this content. We're going to give them some content. But the problem was they didn't think about the server. They never think about the space. They got to think about the space. If you're going to promise this stuff, you got to make sure you have the space for the people when they come. You can't just think a message will go unheard if you put a bunch of fake promises in it. So that's where we at with it. Like I said, if you choose to buy it, it's good. It's a great game. It's got real good progress. It's just gonna take it some time to take off because they didn't prepare for the amount of people that showed up. So they only have one server, and it's not panning out exactly how they thought it would. So they're kind of like, at this point, fuck it. You know, we got to do what we got to do. So people are upset. I'm upset. There's no question about it. But we just gotta wait it out. I mean, it's already getting ready to be fucking 8 o'clock for me. I'm willing to give it like one more try, and then I'm probably just gonna end up on VR because I honestly feel like that's the system they have at the moment. People are logging out, so people are logging in because now it's moving really slow, but it is moving. So we'll see, but I feel like it's people are moving in, people are moving out. So we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna give it to this countdown here, but everyone has to take consideration. If you jump in this queue, do not close it. You feel me? Just wait till you get to the last ending. Close it 5 or I usually give about 10 minutes. Sometimes I'll give it 15. But you gotta let it sit there and then close it out. But if you gotta close it out and you come back and that's say like 13,000 again, and if it don't start moving really fast, just call it done, bro. Like it ain't really worth your life. I really ain't got nothing to do on my off days right now, so I'm cool. That's why I'm like, fuck it. But it ain't really worth the agonizing headache. You could play something else until they actually get it going. The problem is there will be, like for me, if you're a hardcore and you just want to play it because you want to impress when people see your character, I've always just been that type of gamer. You looking to get on because you know it's some weeders right now that's on there playing, and their characters is probably like level 20 or something like that already, or 30, or they're almost maxed out, or whatever it is, because they found a way to just stay on the game. Like, or they're just not having server problems closer to where they are. I don't know, whatever the case may be, but there's clearly an amount of people on there that they're willing to do patchworks instead of knocking the whole server down to fix it. They're watching other people play right now, you know, and it's they said that on their Twitters that they've been noticing people getting in. So they said they have been enjoying the fact that they're watching people get in. So they could just be comfortable with the amount of people that they're watching right now for data that they're collecting for the future of the game. They could just be happy with that, and they're just not looking to bring in a bunch of other players now, because it seems that we're getting down to the same number of players that keep recycling back into trying to get through the queue. You feel me? Like every time that I've got in here on this queue, it's always been like 13,000. You know, it's like, and that can't be just with them saying that players are getting on. You can't tell me that the same 13,000 are just getting, just popping up. Every time it pops up for new people, the number's always 13,000. Like 13,000 people just pop up a day. Like that's not how it's going. Hell no. This is all a repeat of players who have been here from the first day who bought and couldn't get in. So it's now pretty abundantly that 13 to about 17,000 people is roughly the amount of people who haven't gotten in or haven't stayed in and are trying to get back in now, with a few other new people that are hearing about all the drama that's going on about this game. So people are trying to join in, plus the other regions that they added. So we just gotta see how they do it and how they get it done, because I would love to get on the game, put some decent content up, but it might not happen with the fact that they just ain't got no other server, man. That's hard to say. You would expect people who put, because that's a lot of money into these dang games. You would expect for somebody to put millions into a video game, you know, because you have to think about sales and all sorts of things like that when it comes to business. There's no, y'all bet how many I'm gonna sell. I'm pretty sure out, cause I guarantee you it ain't gonna be nothing left in them boxes when I walk up out of there. You feel me? Like, I'm pretty sure that was already a done dollar. He said that to them before it even cracked off. So I'm pretty sure before they went in there and pitched this idea, they had a set number of people that they were expecting to be able to get funding for this game. There's no way in hell they walked into that office and said, "Hey, we got a audience of 60,000 players, and we need y'all to give us a loan to make this game because we feel like this 60,000 players could turn into 100,000." Man, ain't no company putting up no front money for that. That don't even sound good. That pocket change, a couple 100,000, especially what video games are worth these days. People are making millions off of video games. There's no ifs and buts about it. So I'm pretty sure the figure that they had to come up with to get the funding for this game, in all honesty, is just if you're wanting to play the game, give it a shot, wait it out. Your luck may be better than others because you have to look at this like RNG. You know, your luck may be better right now than other people's. For me, I had a couple of people I talked to that just said they bought the game, and when they bought the game, they came back and downloaded it and jumped on, and they was in the game. I was just like, wait a minute, what? They just went through the queue and boom, they was in the game first time. So I don't know how they're doing it or what's going on, but people are making it in. Like I said, it could just be your RNG, to be honest. It could just be your RNG. Maybe a lucky person that just be like, boom, I got blessed, I'm in there. But for me, I already tried to get on. I feel like when I start streaming, it be taking forever. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut my stream down because I was just rambling a bit just to see what it would be, you know, why it's going on, just to give people a heads up. But I'm gonna hope that it lets me back in. If it does, I'll record some footage this time and I will upload it for y'all, and then I can talk about it then. But I'm not gonna try to put my broadcast back up because I don't know what's wrong with them right now. But every time I put this broadcast up, boy, they be ready to cut my throat on that. And that they was real stiff about that in the MDAs and in the beta. So they could feel the same way. I didn't read it this time, you know, like I did in the beta because they was making it clear beta. They didn't really make it clear here, so I didn't really read the MDA. I just signed it, got on the game, said fuck it. So that could be a reason. So I'm gonna give it a chance and cut my stream down. So y'all be easy, man.